The alpha dog in a pack of huskies, Rome Odunze outmatched opponents all season long. With the tracking to target anything and the skills to snatch it away from almost anyone, every ball thrown his way has the potential for a splash play. Add a sweet hop release and some smooth moves to the mix, and you're starting to build the profile of a true number one receiver. Now, I don't think he's perfect, but let's show you where all that hype is coming from. Leaving the blocks like lightning, Rome's release is polished beyond its requisite years. A master of the hop release, he's continually freezing defenders, leaving them stuck to the spot as he disappears downfield. Watch Rome completely bamboozle him, hopping and splitting his feet, loading the weight onto his right foot to sell the outside move, then powering off it to turn the corner into a tailspin. He bursts up the stem and through the 45 cut to the post, and with safety drifting with Penix's eyes, he's now open. The ball's a yard behind on pace, but that's no bother for Rome, slowing down and corralling it through contact. Facing proper press coverage against the Longhorns this time, the hop is so good the corner can't even get a hand on him. Immediately out the blocks, he's hopping and splitting, causing the DB to defer inside and leaving a free release boundary. He's through the fade fast, and this is a great bucket drop and catch to get inside the 15. Against Oregon in the last ever Pac-12 championship game, RIP the Conference of Champions, he's tasked with an over route, but the corner is right up in his grill and trying to deny the inside. Once again, he goes to his beloved hop, splitting his feet and dodging the attempted jab. The Mike is going to attempt to attach to stop the over route, but Rome's outrunning them all, doing a great job to flatten his route and meet the slightly offline ball. And here, he has his man beat, but the connection can't quite be made. Splitting his feet at lightning speed, he's easily able to abuse the inside angle, flying out the blocks fast and initiating the contact, creating the angle to get over the top on the sail route. He's got the wheels, but Penix is being flushed, and overcompensating for the off-balance throw ends up sending it long. One of the premier skills any receiver can have is tracking, and here, Odunze is elite. This isn't really a trait you can teach either, so seeing this level is genuinely sensational. The deep ball is as much a function of tracking as it is the QB's arm, and this is a good example. Cal are going to disguise their cover 3 intentions here, but this will open up an opportunity to roam down the seam. Pressure through the A-gap means Penix can't step in, but Rome's already located the target and locked on, slowing down to meet the path of the ball, caring little for the distraction of contact. Attacking the middle of the field again with the post route, the Huskies' Mills concept works perfectly against the Texas quarters. Odunze gets early eyes on this again, originally expecting this up the hashes, but tracking it long and bending upfield to meet it, ignoring the impact of his man once more, catching over the shoulder through contact. Leading the stack this time, he's again attacking the seam, but is going to need more brilliant tracking to make the grab. Beating his guy off the line and up the seam with elite acceleration, Penix spots he's fried his man, but with the safety lurking middle, throws this into the space in the sideline, knowing his man will make a play. And that he does, calculating the ball's location early with precision, curving the route and turning over his outside shoulder to haul it in. We've shown flashes of catching through contact already, but this skill extends to a whole new level. The best 50-50 ball man in college last season, this man is a dog. Washington were well aware, splitting him out solo to get one-on-one matchups they knew were impossible to defend. This looks like pretty good coverage by the corner, not getting lost on the hop release, and then making contact to try to limit his space to the sideline. But Penix just puts this up straight away and allows his star to make a play. With eyes on it early, Rome's going up and over his man to snatch it, ripping it free and falling in for the score. Seriously, there's no way to guard him on this. Split out space using the doubles formation here, he's again got that red zone fade. Rome stalls his man with the hezzy release this time and has him beat, but the ball's thrown even shorter. No problem for Rome, rotating and catching the ball at full extension behind him, completing the twirl to turn this into a touchdown. And when the game's on the line, he was always there for his team. Holding on to a 2-point lead with 1:58 left, it's third down and they have a chance to seal the deal. So of course, UW go to their main man, splitting him out solo and just throwing the ball at him. There's no separation, But honestly, Rome doesn't need it, spinning for the back shoulder ball and icing the game. Then, down earlier in the season at Oregon with just 98 seconds left, you know exactly what they're gonna do. Split solo to the top this time. Penix is again just throwing this up as soon as his man gets level. It's back shoulder and behind, but when does that ever bother him? Pirouetting to pull it in through the blanket coverage. And that's game, set, match, Rome. With the Pac-12's policy of only hiring visually impaired refs, Rome put in numerous Academy Award-winning performances to sell the contact, drawing a long list of laundry from the Zebras. Penix had a real habit of leaving balls short, and some of it was knowing how good Odunze was, but at other times it was just poor placement. No problem though, as Rome tries to run back through his defender, making flags fly from all angles. And here it is again in the Natty. Rome spots the ball as short early, working back through his man to gain a free 15 for his team. To be continuously successful in the NFL, you must also be a strong route runner. Pairing sharp 90 cuts with that release, Rome can shake and bake you, but can be a bit lacking when it comes to his stop routes. Going east and west though, he's deadly. Operating the option route here against Oregon, look at how he gets high onto his toes to freeze his man, then dropping his weight and darting off his inside foot, creating an easy out route for his boy to find. This time, the Huskies will add a motion to try and free him, and his man is sitting off and outside leverage. No problem for Rome though, selling his man the inside with the head fake and plant before exploding past him and then sharp cutting boundary. Penix is on time and Rome slows to get both feet down for the Sunday catch. Combining in and out breaks, watch him shake Will Johnson in the Natty. Out the blocks fast, he brings his weight down and hard cuts as if he's heading inside on the slant, bringing the coverage downhill, only to then explode back north, schooling him on the sluggo. More good tracking has him taking this over the shoulder and getting both feet down for the catch. And in the red zone, he was a real menace. Watch him cut hard on this third step, selling the slant hard inside before exploding off the next step back outside, petrifying his guy like he just looked straight back at the basilisk, softly receiving the ball over his shoulder. Fleet-footed with dagger-sharp cuts, made him a great threat with the ball in his hands, and the Dubs provided plenty of opportunities for him to attack early. Off the motion, Rome's gonna get the ball on the tunnel screen, showing excellent vision to weave in and out of the traffic and turn a quick catch into 15. Here's the same concept against Arizona, just with more space to work with. He makes the first man miss with smooth hips, then shows more great vision to get behind the blocker, then break another tackle to get the first. And as always, he's a fucking menace in the red area. Delaying his route even longer this time, he's gonna get the ball behind his offensive line and inflict damage, shrugging off one tackle, then splitting two more, spinning through the contact to reach the end zone. A willingly physical blocker, Rome wasn't afraid to throw hands, or a body if he thought he could spring a teammate. He's the outside man on this quick toss concept, but it doesn't stop him showing effort throughout the rep, trying to put his man into the sideline and clear space for his back. And here's my favorite rep of them all. Tasked with the pin down on the toss left, he gets a good start, but his man manages to work his helmet across, trying to cut off the outside angle. Rome shows great technique to sink and keep his hands inside on the chest plate, maintaining control all the way through the rep and pancaking his man into the sideline. So the tape so far is a delight, and exactly what you want to see from a top-tier receiver. But it's by no means perfect, and I do have a few concerns that make me take a pause. Firstly is his footwork on his stop routes. Too often when breaking back to his QB were his feet incredibly inefficient, requiring far too many steps to slow his momentum. Running the 15-yard hitch-up route here against Utah, look how many steps it takes for him to stop his momentum, requiring twice as many as needed to run it crisply. And here, he's not really trying to sell anything, just turning around and kind of just waiting for the ball. There's no head fakes or changing of speed to sell the go ball before snapping back, simply turning around and letting his man sit on his shoulder. And here it is against Arizona's drop 8. Again, there's no drive out to sell the fade, drifting his turn and then waiting for the ball rather than working back to his quarterback and keeping the window open. Late throw, route, and lack of hustle back to the ball make this a really easy breakup. And not finishing routes isn't a one-time occurrence. Here, he's running the top drag in mesh, offering a shimmy to try to slow down his buddy's defender, but then stops running his route. Much like in basketball, the man setting the screen is just as dangerous as the roller, and Penix agrees, trying to fit the ball to him on third, except Rome stopped running. His other problem was against physical coverage. When his release didn't clear space, he could find his runway easily interrupted and his route attached throughout the rep. He needs to do a better job setting his receiver up during the stem to free him some of this physicality. Too often does he allow a corner to crowd his space, believing he'll just beat him at the catch point. And yeah, that might be true, but that's a hell of a lot harder in the NFL. The release again here is good, but he needs to be exploding and flashing his head and hands to his QB to sell the inside portion of this sail route. The corner isn't fooled and just sits on his hip, leaning on him throughout the route and ruining any chance to cut it crisp. Against Oregon, Dante Manning is going to land a great punch to his chest and disrupt the hop release. Then, get a grasp of his shoulder and ruin the whole route. He tries to fight up the seam, but the corner gets into trail technique quickly, and it appears Rome gives up on this one rather than trying to break back hard to get free. Here, they put him in the stack, but he's again beaten up with a good punch and can't free himself from the physical coverage. And here, with the corner sitting way off against the fade route, he's got to try to do something to make him lose leverage. Instead, just running a very generic fade route, getting boxed to the sideline and forced into attempting a worldly catch. With all that being said, when the game was on the line, the Huskies went to this man. And he delivered, leaping over and around defenders to track errant passes from Penix. With an elite release already mastered and some sweet east and west cuts, Rome is an incredible canvas. His routes have some work to do, and he's got to be better at freeing himself from contact. But if this guy's schooling DBs and making safeties look silly at a Pro Bowl level, I won't be the slightest bit surprised. He's a true dog.